Continue from the lesson last time.
When we use a ruler to measure, last time you have a ruler, make sure you start from 0 and not the edge of the ruler because that's one of the common mistakes. The ruler, we have the centimeter and inches on the other side, so we did some very basic one. We will do more later. But we also try to use a protractor, and the protractor is going to be half of a circle. So it's start from 0 to 180 degrees, 0 to 180 degrees. So when you measure with a protractor, make sure you are very careful and get the correct set of number. And we did angle A was what? So we want to make sure the circle is in the vertex and one of the line is lined up with the baseline here. And then when we use that, we use like a ruler to pick up the angle. For angle 1, last time we measured it, it was what? 55 degree. I would have to be very careful. Make sure I started this angle from here from 0 to here. We found 55 degree last time. And then last time we do the B. So I'm going to flip my protractor like that. Make sure the vertex is in the circle. Line up the base one. And then this time I know it's an obtuse angle, right? So it should be more than 90 degree. But still, make sure you start from 0 all the way to about what? 18. Let me see. Like, so a little bit less than 120. 118 sounds correct. So if it's like about 1 degree off with what I have, I'm going to accept it. How about angle 3? What did we have last time? So again, the vertex in a circle. If you're not used to doing it, just go ahead and do it one more time quickly. Baseline line up with the angle here. And then this one, tell me it's about what? Close to 30. Anybody have a different number? Everybody have 30? Okay, 30 is acceptable. And this look like an acute, like a Q angle, right? How about 4? 4 is what angle? A circle. Circle is 360. That's not quite a 360. It's bigger than 180, but less than 360, right? We call that a reflex angle. So this reflex angle, how do we find that? I know the other part is 30, so we can use 360 for the whole circle, subtracting 30. That give me 330 degree. Is that okay? I think on your homework 7, I don't know if you started that, there is 2 questions. You have to use protractor. So if you want to do it at the end of the class, just finish that before you go. That's okay. If you see one is inexpensive, you may want to buy one to keep it. Here, they ask you to draw a 30-degree angle. How am I going to do that? So I would suggest you to start with a point, then draw this here first as your base. So if I have something like this, what do we call that? This is a ray because it has an endpoint, right? So we want to have a point and a ray like this. So you can put the vertex part in the open little circle here and line up your base with this line here. And then I need 35, right? So I'm going to find 35. Make sure you start from 0 to 35. It should be a Q angle. You can mark, like, make sure when you measure it, don't move your protractor because it will become inaccurate. Make sure it's still lined up with the base. 35 here. I'm going to put a point here so I can just connect it. Draw another ray. When you have that, make sure you mark it clearly where is your angle. I probably will name it like this is A, B, C. So I can say angle A, B, C equal to 35 degree, and I'm going to label 35 degree here. So make it as clear as possible, every possible way. Draw it and label it. When I did the 35 degree, I put a ruler here, I put a point here, so I can guide myself where it's supposed to be. Okay. Protractor, ruler, and then you do a point here. Everybody got it? 35 degree? Should be pretty small because it's an acute angle. You can double check it again. After you draw it, it's a 35. And you know how I check it? I use a transparency and I draw it on top of the transparency and I put it on top of people's graph and see if it match about the same. Okay, so the next one say draw a complementary angle to a 40-degree angle. What is complementary? Complementary is going to form what? Start with a C. Complementary. C is going to add up to a 90-degree corner angle, right? The C is like corner. So I need to draw a 90-degree angle first, a right angle. So I can use my ruler. And then if you're not trusting yourself, you can put it like on the corner like that. Should form a 90-degree angle. Try to be as accurate as you can. So this is a 90-degree angle. The two angles should add up to 90 degrees, but one of them is what? 40. You put the little circle on the vertex, line up with the baseline. Find your 40 degrees here. I'm going to line them up. I'm going to put a point here to guide me where it's 40. Are we okay? 40 here with this point. Like my 40. The other side should be what? I'm not trusting myself. I'm going to double check. So I'm going to double check the other side should be what? Add up to 90. 50. Yeah, a little bit off. Because that circle is way too big. I really don't like this protractor, but that's all we have. That's what they have available in the US. Okay, so this side is supposed to be 40. I don't know, my eye is deceiving me. This is 40. So I'm going to say, I'm going to label the other guy as angle 1. So I'm going to say my angle 1 is complementary to a 40-degree angle, because 90 degrees subtract 40 degrees will give me 50 degrees. So this other heart, which is my answer, is going to be 50 degrees. Are we okay? So I calculated. I know if one is 40, the other one should be 50. And my answer is going to be the angle 1 equal to 50 degrees, right? So I'm saying this is my answer, 50 degrees. Are we okay with that? I think one of your homework questions kind of like this. Ask you to get a complementary angle of something. So you're going to need to show me all this stuff. Next, we're going to need a supplementary angle. Supplementary start with the S. So the angle is going to form a 180, which is the straight line. So S for straight line, C for corner, right? I'm going to need to draw a straight line first to represent a 180 degree. If I have arrow on both ends, what do we call those? This is a line, okay? If it has two endpoints, we call those line segment, okay? If it has one endpoint, we call those ray, okay? So slowly get yourself familiar with the terminology. Next Monday, we're going to have a quiz in class for ratio, proportion, and those tables. So anything on the homework supposed to be due today could be part of the quiz. And the next quiz coming up after that would be about geometry, okay? So start studying those terminology. So I'm going to need to pick a point because I'm going to grab it there. They say supplementary to 50, so I should draw I need a 50 degrees, so go ahead and find a 50-degree angle. So I found 50 here. I put a point there. I measure it. So you can either dot a point here at 50, 0 to 50, or dot a point here. Do another rate. I'm going to double check the other side to make sure. If it's a supplementary to 50, the other side should be what? 130, okay? So I'm going to mark this side is 50 degree. The other side should be my answer, right? My answer here, say this is angle 2 in here. So angle 2 is supplementary to a 50-degree angle. And 180 degree minus 50 degree will give me 130 degree. So my answer should be angle 2 equal to 130 degree. Are we okay with something like that? Do we know how to use a protractor just for basic stuff? You're going to need to be able to measure some angle, draw some angle, know some of the geometry terminology. Question for that. This is the first part of geometry. When we get to exam 3, we will have another part. In the past, we put everything together and student has such a hard time, so we break it into 2. Questions?